Hi, and welcome to In the Front Row, all things news, reviews, and interviews. My name's Jamie Lee, and today I'll be doing a review of The Boys Season 3, episodes 1 through to 3, because that's all that's out so far. There will be spoilers in this video because if I'm being honest, I don't know how to talk about this show without spoiling things because I just love this show so much and I just want to chuck like all the references out there and all the reasons as to why it's such a great show. So I'm sorry, but I don't know how to not spoil things with that. Season 1 was so good. You know, it's a superhero show, yes, but it just flips everything that I knew about superheroes upside down, and it was just a really refreshing take on it. Season 2, they upped it, I think, personally, added some new characters. And then season 3, well, so far anyway, they've just not disappointed me at all. Like, I thought, how could they top this? But they have in every single aspect, you know, like the gore, the humor, the social issues, everything has just gone up, 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 up. The characters just gone up, up, up. Like, I just love it. I love it so, so, so much. It is just such a unique show. Like, it takes the piss out of everything and it mocks everything. Like, at first it was just superheroes that it was taking the piss out of, and now it's literally everything. You know what I mean? Like social issues, places, superheroes that we know, shows that we know. I'll give some examples with that. So with the shows, I feel like this is taking the piss out of The Bachelor or Survivor, things like that, where the contestants are fighting for a spot as a soup or fighting for a spot on the 7, to the point where even Starlight says at one point, you may now hang up your capes, you know, because you're unsuccessful or whatever. And, you know, that's just a rip to me of, you know, The Bachelor, where they say, you know, you've got a rose and you don't have a rose. Or with the Survivor one, it's, you know, you may now let out your torch. So similar sort of thing with that. And then it rips the dialogue from, you know, movies that I'm so used to seeing. You know, there was the one with Infinity War in this specifically. Homelander goes up against Stormfront in the commercial that they're filming there, and she says, "You'll never defeat me alone," or something along them lines. And, you know, I think it was Starlight, maybe it was Queen Maeve, I don't know, but one of the girls comes across and goes, "But he's not alone." And, you know, they're all like joining and gonna fight her or whatever. And that is such a perfect rip of such a perfect line in Infinity War. You know what I mean?
He'll die alone, as will you.
She's not alone.
You know, that was the same knockoff from this. So, I really love those things. So entertaining. And then not just the dialogue, like you have the actual rip off of the characters. So, you know, we see Ant-Man or a version of Ant-Man in this, which is literally taking the piss out of the Ant-Man that we know and love, who can go from a giant, you know, to super tiny and like literally crawl into people like we see in this. And then even places, you know, they've got a mock-off of Disneyland, and it's basically just mocking those things. It just takes the piss out of them. And the thing that I love most about it is that the writers are brave. You know, they're not afraid to take risks. And even with the social issues, you know, you're often wondering or thinking like, wow, that's actually like a true depiction of like real life, or like that could actually reflect real life things. And yeah, it's kind of terrifying when you think about it, like almost as terrifying as Homelander, but it's just like sugar coated with like humor and gore, and, you know, it takes the seriousness out of it, but they're really serious issues and really serious topics that are actually mentioned in the show. And it could be me overthinking things because I overthink a lot. But, you know, it just got me really challenged and like really thinking about some things that were mentioned in this, like with the gun control, you know what I mean? There was a poster on the wall and it said something like guns are a gift, and, you know, Gunpowder was doing a big speech about how like children need to use guns in schools and things like this. And, you know, there was even a scene where the kid was like, you know, trying to learn how to shoot a sniper or operate a sniper or something like that. And they kind of take the piss out of all this, but behind it is like a really serious issue, and one that's like really relevant at the moment over in the States especially. And then same with like A-Train, do you know what I mean? Like his neighborhood are really wanting him to step up and be a voice for, you know, his culture and his people. And he's just making a mockery out of, you know, his heritage and his culture. And it's just like, you know, they're making fun of these sort of things, but there's a real big and important issue like underneath it all, behind all the humor and the gore and things like that. So yeah, I think they're very, very smart with their writing. Some more examples of that is like with the races and stuff, you know, the guy calling out, you know, "Your Nazi's dead" to Homelander and things like that. And then Hughie judging Starlight, you know, for climbing her way to the top career-wise, and yet he did the same thing, but it's okay for him because he's a man. So there's so many like social issues, you know, sexual abuse with the deep and things like that. And yeah, there's just so many topics and so many things going on that, yeah, it just really challenges my way of thinking, but they do it in a fun way. And, they just chuck everything at you and you think, oh, they went there, and yeah, they just keep going there, the whole time. And then being the boys, of course, we got more gore this season. In the first episode, in the first few minutes alone, like there was the most disturbing, disgusting scene. Like I thought I'd seen the most disgusting thing that I'd seen in film in, I think it was the Brothers Grimsby movie or something like that. And like Sacha Baron Cohen, went into an elephant's like hoo-ha. Let's just call it that, I guess. And it was disgusting. It was so disturbing that they showed the inside, and it was just yuck. And then like, I don't know if it was intentional or not that this show did like a similar thing or the same thing really, but that's where I went. You know what I mean? Like we literally see Ant-Man like go into places where he shouldn't go. And when I heard that line, like I want you in me, I was like, we all know where that's going, you know what I mean? Like two gay guys, whatever. But no, that's not where that was going. You know what I mean? Like they didn't just go to here, they just went like here, and then here, and it was just so disturbing. And really that should terrify me. You know what I mean? That's gory and disgusting that they went there, but oh my God, I was laughing. I was laughing in such a disgusting scene like that. So this show never ceases to amaze me with the gore and the disturbing things that are really good. And that's not the only moment like that. Like obviously when Butcher's learning to use his powers and stuff, we see some gory stuff, and Hughie willingly wanting to snap his arm in half, that stuff's gross. And when you think the show's gone too far, they're like, babe, you ain't seen nothing yet, and then they just go that extra step further, and it's just gross, but it's just good. And I have a really dry and dumb sense of humor, so I laugh at things that maybe aren't funny, but I find them funny. For example, when Frenchie was like,
but I don't use a plate when I eat your mother's sweet and savory vagine.
And then when Mother's Milk was talking about Hughie's cut hand, and he's like,
you jacking off with razors again?
You should see the other guy. Other guy's my penis.
And there was one other one, with the deep. Of course it was with the deep. He's so disturbing. And, he's being forced to eat the Timothy. He's being forced to eat Timothy. And he's like, he's praying when he was eating him. It's just so dry and it's so dumb. But if you like that sort of humor, like this is definitely the right show. Like it just tick, 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 tick. It's so good. But it's not just all fun and games as usual. It hits you with the serious storylines and the sad storylines too. My favorite is probably with Kimiko, and how they not paired her with Ryan, but like compared her to Ryan, I guess. Like she didn't have a normal childhood because she was forced to be this weapon with her brother, and she could really see herself as that weapon in the Disney World scene, when she scared the kids and whatnot. And it was really sad to hear her talking to Ryan about she doesn't want her powers and she doesn't like them, and she feels like she's broken and can't be fixed. Like that's really sad. And I feel like Ryan would be very similar to that, like he was born into these powers, and he won't have a normal childhood like everybody else would have. And those scenes were like really nice and really authentic, I think. And I mean, if you look at it in a different way, which I do because I'm stupid and think weirdly, but that's kind of the same for Homelander as well. He was made into this soup. And, even those scenes where he was on the rooftop with the girl and saying those things like he doesn't know when his birthday is because it was, chosen by the marketing team, and that he was made from a test tube, those scenes make me really feel bad for him, because he was created and he has been manipulated and he is being used. And sure, that's turned him into a freaking evil genius, but I still feel really sad for him. And I found it really upsetting to see like a vulnerable side of Homelander where I thought was genuinely upset by the fact that Stormfront had, killed herself when he considered her a god, really. Just seeing that vulnerable side of him, coming to terms with the fact that, it's okay to be yourself and don't be afraid to be yourself. When he had that big speech in, the theater there, and the guy was like, oh, your Nazi's dead, or whatever he said. And I was just, I had goosebumps like, come on, this guy is going to go off. He is going to go nuts. And I was so pumped and so ready. And, he gave the whole speech about I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. You need me. You're not the hero. I'm the hero. I'm the motherfucking Homelander. And I can still do whatever the fuck I want. Like, oh my God, Antony Starr, you are just terrifying. unpredictable, terrifying, and I just love watching you. But anyway, that's going off topic. Anyway, let's get back on topic and talk about one more thing that I enjoyed from this season, or specifically the last episode, was seeing that flashback from Gracie with Stan, Edgar, and Black Noir, you know, seeing how he didn't want to wear the helmet and how he, you know, came to keeping the helmet on, obviously, and why he can't speak. So yeah, that was really interesting to see that. And I still am waiting to see that connection that he has with Homelander, because they've got like such a strange bond and it's never really been addressed. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. Other things that I can't wait to see is the relationship between Victoria, her relationship with Stan Edgar. You know, is he using her as a weapon, and is she gonna, you know, become good or bad, or what's gonna happen there? And that leads me to one of the things that I didn't like about this season, was when they threw Frenchie's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, whatever she was, Sherry, and I think it was Nina, you know, and they kidnapped him or whatever. And I just thought that was so like, whew, hit you in the face. Like, what's going on here? You know, we're dealing with the soups, and then suddenly we get this like random girl come in and she's like, hey, here's what you did in your past, which was weird. But yeah, anyway, so that was off topic. And I know it's going to relate somehow to probably like the Russians taking Soldier Boy, or whatever's going to happen where we finally get to meet Soldier Boy. That'll be exciting. But yeah, it just, that threw me off a lot. You know, it was like, huh? Like, where does that fit in, or whatever? But anyway, we'll see where all that goes anyway. Can't wait to see more of Billy's powers. He seems to be really struggling at the moment, and I hope that it is temporary and not a, you know, long-term effect or whatever. And then I really want to see if we're going to contain the Homelander, you know, the motherfucking Homelander, because they're not going to kill him, right? You know, like, this show's ballsy, but they're not that ballsy, surely. And we don't want him to die, you know. Yeah, he's a baddie, but he's a good baddie, you know, kind of like Negan from The Walking Dead. You just want to see more of them. Anyway, so far I'm loving it, and if you are too, let me know in the comments, or if you haven't seen it before, let me know in the comments as well, whatever. But if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it because it's so good. Anyway, I could keep talking about how good it is all day, but I won't. So if you liked this video, then please give it a like, and if you're not already, then please subscribe to my channel, and then head on over to my Instagram and give me a follow over there as well, please. Okay, sweet as, have a good day. Bye.